Whenever I speak, I want a beverage. I will have a non alcoholic beer. I just bought two six packs. I've been trying to minimize my alcohol intake. Recently, I started strictly drinking only on rest days, and today was not a rest day. Oh, I thought that was gonna make a satisfying sound, but it didn't. Hi, my name is Teresa. If you don't know me personally, I'm 20 years old. I live in Rotterdam right now. I'm from the Czech Republic, from Prague. I'm here studying a bachelor's degree in psychology. I'm in my first year. And yeah, so those are the very, very basics. Before I dive into anything, I would like to give a big, big, big trigger warning. I will be talking about suicide, sexual violence. So I really urge you to not watch this video if those are sensitive topics for you. Trigger warnings have kind of become a bit more routine, but I really think that it's so important to know your boundaries and know what's safe for you to hear. So just mind that before watching. Before I talk about why I decided to start making videos and create this series, I should tell you a bit of backstory because it is very relevant. Everything's kind of connected, and a lot of things stem from early life experiences. So, one of the most important things to know is that I have PTSD. I experienced sexual, verbal, physical abuse from the ages 12 to 16. So, I have complex PTSD. It has been a big part of my life for the past 3 years. Of course, it was a large part of my life before that, but I was only diagnosed when I was 18 because a lot of the trauma was repressed. So it's something that affects my day to day life because it was untreated for so long. For the past like 2 or 3 years, I have been trying to work on my PTSD, or at least I thought I was. Ooh, plot twist. But we'll get into that later. So I moved to Rotterdam the end of August last year, and I got into a relationship pretty early on. We started dating in October. It was all super quick. Eventually, it ended up happening that we lived together. Don't judge me, learn my lesson, don't worry. So I was in this very intense relationship, and towards the end of February, that relationship came to an end, and not in a very pleasant way. The breakup started kind of dragging on. I think as we both became more and more emotionally exhausted, certain behaviors started coming up. Behaviors that to me were very triggering. They triggered my PTSD symptoms, which started getting worse, and my health started declining very rapidly. So all of a sudden, need to find a new apartment, need to accept the fact that this person I was so close to had decided to end the relationship in that way. I had a lot of psychosomatic issues. I get migraines very often when I'm not doing well. So, all of that combined, I was not doing well. By the way, oof, important point. I laugh a lot. Um, I laugh when I'm uncomfortable. I laugh when I talk about difficult things. Please don't take it as disrespect or minimizing the weight of topics that are very important. Eventually, came one night. The events of that night felt like my old life was in front of me, and all of a sudden I was standing outside of it, and everyone in that life had turned their back on me. I felt so betrayed by so many people. I felt so confused about the relationships that I had been leading for months up until that point, and it was just too much for my brain to handle. That night, I left the place where I was at, the function, very quickly. I was like, I need to get out of here now because I felt like I was going to have an anxiety attack. I was going to have a panic attack. And I biked home to the place where we had been staying together. Also important to mention that that apartment is located on the campus of my university. That will become important later. um, I came home and decided to overdose on my medication. I don't remember that decision. I don't remember a lot of it. And of course, this is difficult to talk about, but at the same time, I think that being vulnerable, being transparent, being honest about what a person is experiencing, it always yields good. I had issues with suicidal thoughts for many years, but for the past couple of months, I had been doing amazing. I felt like after a really long time, I am sure of the fact that I want to live and that I want to be here. So that decision that I made came so out of nowhere. When someone came home, I asked them to call the ambulance. I recognized that I didn't have control over my symptoms, over my decisions. In no way was I planning that day or the days before to end my life, to try to overdose. So at that point, I had realized I don't have it under control, obviously. So I was taken to the hospital. It was difficult, to say the least, but I was happy to be in a safe place, and I felt like I had finally reached a point where I'm getting the help that I need. Unfortunately, I had to get there through doing a crazy thing, a very unhealthy, life threatening thing. I was in the hospital for a week, and then my mom came, and I was staying with her at a hotel for like a couple of days, and then I was staying on my own at a hotel before I could move into my new apartment, which I found. Thank God. Why am I calling this series Sequestered? Great question. Following this attempt, I moved to a new apartment, obviously stopped talking to my ex, stopped talking to anyone, really. I thought that healing from this, processing what happened, healing from a suicide attempt, would be a quick thing. Boy, was I mistaken. This period of being sequestered turned into my new reality, long term reality. The time frame of this isolation and healing and everything became way, way, way longer and harder than I expected. I'm still in this isolation state. I have yet been able to return to my normal life, or to a life that even resembles the life that I lived up until that day. Going through an unplanned suicide attempt that you survive, it's a lot. It's a lot to process, and it's an experience that is confusing and difficult for so many reasons. And it's especially difficult when you had been struggling with PTSD for 8 years of your life. That's what I learned. So, the 5 stages of grief, right? Or 7 stages of grief. It's a model by Krugel. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Krugel. I don't know. So, the stages of grief. The theory doesn't only apply to death, grieving death. The 5 or 7 stages of grief follow any traumatic event. Now, do I think that I am grieving? Yes. Is this something that I only thought of today? Yes. I think that I can somewhat understand what I've been going through, but I think that maybe giving it like a framework, giving it structure, is something that I could benefit from. And maybe so could someone who's watching this. Mm hmm. Mm hmm. Message. I think that although you may not relate to that specific experience, I hope you don't. I hope that most of you don't relate to this specific experience. I do think that a lot of things and feelings connected to this experience, my personal experience, are universal, therefore relatable. Feelings surrounding anger, shame, denial, depression. I think that those are feelings that are unfortunately relatable to most. Of course, in varying intensities and frequency and whatever. But I think that anyone can find something that they can relate to in my experience, whether it is positive, negative, whatever. This is also for everyone who is struggling, who feels like they are alone in what they're experiencing, who are struggling to have difficult conversations that they need to have. I think that difficult conversations are so insanely important and can help so many people, including those struggling with things like suicidal ideations, PTSD, various mental health issues that are uncomfortable to talk about by nature. Because this is a conversation that I need to have. I need this to not be stigmatized. I need to be able to speak about this freely without people thinking, oh my gosh, she's crazy. I have to be super careful what I say because she's gonna kill herself. No, I would like to clarify everything about this experience. The fact that it's not someone being crazy, it's a person who's struggling. Here on Sequestered, we will be having difficult conversations about difficult topics, and thinking about how we can use those to better our life and be more happy. I'm saying our, of course, I mean mine mostly, but if it helps anyone, then that's perfect. I think that first I wanted to introduce the concept, kind of prepare you for what's coming, and you can decide if that's something that you're interested in, if that's something that's good for you to hear. And yeah, so if you've made it all the way here, thank you very much for watching. I hope that I will see you in the next videos. My final message, and this will always be my message to everyone: be kind to yourself. Do something nice for yourself. Take a nice warm shower. Take yourself out for coffee. Go on a date with yourself. go to the park, touch grass. I don't know, but do something kind for yourself every day. And that's all I'm gonna say for today. Um, Cheers to talking about stuff. Cheers to difficult conversations. I'm gonna enjoy my non alcoholic beer, and I hope you have a very lovely day. I don't know how long I've been sitting here, but I need to go to the bathroom.